everyone and welcome back to Mariana Mas Books. My name is Mariana and today I am going to share with you my September reading plans. So, something you have to know about me is that I am readathon obsessed. I am obsessed with participating in every single readathon or reading challenge that I see with whatever I consider cool prompts. So for the whole of 2021, I have been neglecting reading the books I originally planned on reading this year in order to read the books of whatever readathon I am participating in. And every month I tell myself, okay, this month is the last month. Now I am going to concentrate on my original reading plans, and every month invariably I don't. Someone I follow makes an announcement with a readathon I have to participate in, and at the beginning of the year I was like, okay, yeah, it's March, it's April, it's May, it's June, I still have a lot of time to read the books I planned, and suddenly it's September and we only have 4 more months left in the year. And I told myself, okay, now I am really going to stop participating in readathons, except for Nonfiction November, which is originally planned since the beginning because it's my favorite readathon and I will miss it for the world. But except for Nonfiction November, I am not going to participate in any more readathons, not officially. I do have Middlemarch on my bookshelf, but that is a book that I originally planned on reading, and I was planning on reading it on October for Booktuber, so I won't be checking any prompts out or anything. Anyway, so recently Xian and Bert from Past Storytime and Heather from Soggy Expat Book Nerd decided to create a very cool September readathon. And I saw their announcement videos, and Heather did really cool little doodles for the prompts, and I thought, oh my god, now I want to participate in Shorty September, where I told myself I wasn't going to participate in any more readathons and I was actually going to focus on my original reading goals for the year, which means books I've bought this year and books for the Reading Women Challenge. And of course today I am uploading my Shorty September TBR because I found a way to participate without breaking my rules, and I am very pleased with myself for doing that. I couldn't get Shorty September out of my mind, and I thought, wait, what if I can fulfill all the prompts from Shorty September with books that I was already planning to read? So that way I could participate in Shorty September and also keep my promise to myself to, starting September, only read the books I was planning to originally read. After this very chatty, very wordy introduction, wordy with a D, not with a TH, a very wordy introduction, I am going to tell you all about my September reading plans. Okay, before I share with you my Shorty September TBR, I'm going to talk about the books that I'm going to be reading, that I was going to be reading anyway, because they are either for body reads or read-alongs, or like book club type books. So the first one is The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. This one I am body reading with Elle from Elle Things. We started this body read a few months ago, and we are going to finish it in September. Then I don't know if you remember on my last video, the last 10 books tag, I shared with you a massive biography of the Brontës that I bought recently, and to my surprise, Kate Howe, who is a booktuber I follow, who reads a lot of Victorian literature, she announced that she's doing a read-along for this Bronte biography. She also recently bought it, and she is going to do a read-along during the months of September, October, and November. So I am going to be reading the first part of the Brontës biography for that read-along, and then the final body read is a book I am body reading with my sister. It is called Ace, and it is about asexuality, written by Angela Chen. The book is divided in three sections. So I read the first section, and then she read it, and then the second section, and then she read it. So I am body reading that with my sister, and I have to read this month, I have to read the final part. And then I was planning on reading a book club book for the book club Past It Classics that is hosted here in BookTube by Cara from Wild Book Garden, Taylor from Page Screen Tape, and Julia from Shakespeare and Such. And I was planning on reading the book, and surprise, surprise, it meets one of the prompts for Shorty September, so I am going to read it, and bonus, it will be for Shorty September also. So Shorty September has 11 prompts, and as I said, I was able to meet every single one. I hope I can get to all of these books. My TBRs are usually 8 books long. 8 books is the number of books I usually aim to read in a month. Sometimes I read 1 or 2 more, sometimes I read 1 or 2 less, but 8 is like my sweet spot number. In total, I have more than 8 books for this month's reading challenge, but since the point of Shorty September is reading short books, I am hopeful that I will be able to meet all of my list. I hope so, fingers crossed. But if not, I mean, putting the list together was fun. So yeah. Anyway, so now let's start. The first prompt for Shorty September is Shorty Shorts, a book from the 70s or 80s. And for this one, I will be reading The Passion According to G.H. by Clarice Lispector, which I am also using for the Reading Women Challenge, and it meets the prompt, a translated book from a South American author. Now, this one was published in 1969, so it's a little bit cheating, but 1969 is almost the 70s, so I'm counting it for this prompt. Then the next prompt is Runway Fashion Shorts, a translated book, and for this one I will be reading The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa, which is also to meet one of the bonus prompts for the Reading Women Challenge, which is to read a book by Yoko Ogawa. Yoko Ogawa. The next prompt is Granddad Shorts, a book you've had a long time. For this one, I am going to be reading Diario de un desenterrador de dinosaurios by Juan Carlos Quezadas, which is a middle grade book, and this one is the book that I've had the longest time from the books on my pile of books I bought recently that I want to prioritize. Then the next prompt is Bermuda Shorts, a book set in another country, and for this one I am going to be reading Oldladyvoice by Elisa Victoria. I'm going to be reading it in Spanish. In Spanish it's called Voz de Vieja, but it is available in English translation, translated by Charlotte Whittle, and Oldladyvoice is the one of 2 books that are not part of the Reading Women Challenge or of my original pile, but that I really want to read, so I allowed myself to cheat on 2 prompts, and I have 2 books that are not from the original list, but it doesn't matter because I really want to read them. I'm just going to read to you the elevator pitch for the book, which is 9-year-old Marina may swear like a sailor and think like a novelist. That alone just won me over. 9-year-old Marina may swear like a sailor and think like a novelist, yes, please, okay, I'm buying that book. But even the most exceptional child can get lost on the road to adulthood. I know this is a controversial opinion, but I love child narrators. I usually don't like children in movies or shows, but I love children narrators in books, in adult books. The next prompt is half and half shorts. Read a book and then watch the movie, or read a book of a movie you have already seen. And for this one, I am going to be reading Kiki's Delivery Service by Eiko Kadono. Yes, Eiko Kadono. Translated by Emily Balistrieri. And this one you probably all know that has an adaptation. It has been adapted by Studio Ghibli into a movie from 1989, which is I think one could call it a cult classic. And then Denim Shorts, a modern classic. And for this one, I'm going to be reading the book club pick for the Past It Classics book club, which is Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel, which is a Mexican modern classic that I've never read and that has been on my TBR since forever, because it's a Mexican modern classic and it's one of those Mexican classics that I have never read. So, Like Water for Chocolate, I am going to be reading it in Spanish, Como Agua para Chocolate, in this pretty edition that I have. It is an anniversary edition that my grandmother gifted to me a while ago, and I haven't read it, so I want to read that one. And I'm also using that one for the next prompt, which is Hometown Shorts, a book set in or from the place you live. So a Mexican book, it's set in Mexico and by a Mexican author, Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel. Then Skort, a book that mixes genres or doesn't fit into any genre. And for this one, I am going to be reading Afro-Cuban Tales by Lidia Cabrera, which I'm going to be reading in Spanish. In Spanish it's called Cuentos Negros de Cuba, but in English it is available as Afro-Cuban Tales by Lidia Cabrera, and it is translated by Alberto Hernández-Chiroldes and Lauren Yoder. I'm going to read you just a bit of the blurb because it sounds so good, and to see it, so you can see why it meets this prompt. Afro-Cuban Tales introduces English-speaking readers to a realm of tenuous boundaries between the natural and supernatural, deities and mortals, the spiritual and seemingly inanimate. Here, readers will find a vibrant, imaginative record of African culture transplanted to Cuba and transformed over time, a passionate and subversive alternative to the dominant Western culture of the Americas. The first English translation of one of the most important writers on African culture in the Americas, the collection provides a fascinating view of how African traditions, myths, stories, and religions traveled to the New World, and how, in their tales, Africans in the Americas created a new world of their own. Doesn't that sound amazing? Anyway, that one I will be reading. It will also cover the prompt, a short story collection by a Caribbean author for the Reading Women Challenge. Boxer Shorts, a comfort read. For me, comfort read is most definitely romance, and my favorite is paranormal romance. I love paranormal romance stories, so for this one I'm going to be reading the novella Mating the Huntress by Talia Hibbert, who is an author I love, and I haven't read this particular novella, but I've heard a lot about it and I'm dying to read it. This one is about a woman who is a member of her family are monster killers, and the hero of the story is a werewolf, and they are mates. So they are mates, but she's trying to kill him, which sounds hilarious, and I can't wait to read that one. And now we are into the final 2 prompts, and I am going to be reading the same book for those 2 prompts. The prompts are Gym Shorts, a book to get your pulse racing, and Ripped Shorts, a slasher or a murder mystery. And for those 2 prompts, I'm going to be reading The Butcheress by Ruth Gilligan, which I saw recommended on Reading with Katie's channel. It sounds so good. I'm also going to read you just a piece of the blurb because it sounds so good. A photograph is hung on a gallery wall for the very first time since it was taken 2 decades before. It shows a slaughterhouse in rural Ireland, a painting of the Virgin Mary on the wall, a meat hook suspended from the ceiling, and, from its sharp point, the lifeless body of a man hanging by his feet. I didn't want to read any more from the blurb because I just want to find out what it's all about. It sounds so good. Yeah, there we go. That was my list. Tell me if you're also participating in the challenge and what you are reading, or if you have other shorties that you recommend. I would also love to know, either fiction or non-fiction. I really like reading both. That would be all for today. Next week, I am not going to share a poem. I am going to share with you the wrap-up for all the readathons that I participated in the month of August. In the meantime, happy reading.